We're finally at the calm of the storm and have some time to work on the 2.5 RS. Yo, what is up everybody? Welcome back to Joe's Garage. I know everybody's been anxiously waiting to see some updates on the 2.5 RS. We just have not had the proper time to give it the love it deserves, but we're finally back in the shop working on the 2.5 RS, and I have a really special video for you today. We're gonna be building a custom frame to get this thing off the lift. Okay, so what we're looking at right now is some Harbor Freight dollies that usually would go under the wheels, and I kind of have them in place for that, as you can see. But I have two bed rails. They're going across, which I'm going to end up putting two holes in and bolting them to the dollies, and then put two long arms down that will end up falling into the bed rails on the dollies. We'll have it all attached, and that should support the car in the air. And while also that will support the car, it will be able to roll right off of the lift down the ramps. At least we're hoping for that. If we can get the car outside, it's gonna be epic. I'd love to see what this thing looks like. I'll be able to clean the undercarriage. I'll sandblast the whole thing outside so I can get rid of all the rust, coat it outside so I don't have to worry about overspray in my barn. Let's see if we can get this thing done. Okay, so here you can see some of the actual angles and metal we're gonna be using to make the frame, and I already have some set up here. I'm no fabricator, but essentially we're just gonna go for this. I do have this little custom box already half made. This was just a piece I had laying around the shop, which we're gonna be using this for the actual stilts to hold the car up from the cross member support. First thing we're gonna do is make some holes and attach these dollies with these L's. From there, cut this box down, make it so it's got the holes it needs to attach to the cross member bolts or the studs. Really, I have no clue how this is gonna come out. I saw it in an awesome video how the guy was able to roll the car around, and this is the way we're gonna do it. Okay, so let's go ahead and just start working and see what we can get done here. The first thing I actually need to do is mark these holes. Pretty basic here. I'm just gonna go ahead and mark the center just like this because we have it set up on the dolly on both sides. The reason why I have the dolly set here is so that it will actually roll on the lift, on the actual beams of the lift. You know, I could have done a more shallow setup, but I want it to just easily roll on and off the lift. That's really what this is all about. So yeah, we've got our lines right here, okay? And then I'm gonna go ahead and mark the other side also. And like I was saying, guys, I am no professional. I'm just gonna be doing my best. So we are going to be using the plasma. Okay, and while I'm over here, you're gonna see for the first time if I lined it up okay. I guess the only way to really show you guys is go ahead and set one of the wheels up. Throw the washers on. And I will snug these up. There we go. Nice. Go ahead and throw those on. Get this on here. Let's go to the other side and try and snug the other side on. Rotate this. Okay, go ahead and set this in here like that. That's okay. Last but not least, perfect. Get the washers on and just lightly put that on there. So our first bar is on and in place. Very good. All right, now you guys can see we got it in place. Both are moving simultaneously. And we're gonna go ahead and reinforce this later, but I just need to get everything kind of lightly fabricated so we can continue to build this frame. I'm really gonna do the exact same thing with this side. So I'm just gonna set the L on the dolly, mark those lines where the bolts go through, and then do my best to cut in the center of the L. Just go ahead and set this thing up here like so. This is how we did it the last time. I just kind of marked it like that. Brighter for you. Mark it right here. Mark it right here. So what we got to do is you just ground it. We're ready to start cutting. I have this bolt that's about the right size. This one was a little messy. Perfect. That one I cut a little too big. That's okay. All right, get these off. Nice. Nice. And actually, I think I could just go ahead and get this up. Just want to get it started. The lift. Now with that one on, we can go ahead and mount these two. Yeah, that was the best way to do it. Very good. Let's go ahead and get this one on. Everything's going pretty good so far according to plan. This should be pretty square. I mean, it might not be perfect. Generally, the way it's built, the dollies are gotta be pretty square. So the fact that it all bolts up, pretty straight. Nice. Okay, so this is what we got so far. That is our wheelbase, and that's pretty much how the car is going to roll, is this right here. Now, like I was saying, we're going to build from the cross member, and that's part of that right there. That's going to come down. This is going to move forward a little bit, and it's going to sit from the cross member into this L right here. So we're going to measure the width of this, cut that down, weld in a L to reinforce it, and then we'll have like a nice box on each side connected to the cross member, and that's how this will attach. Hopefully that holds. I think it'll be really strong. So now that we have the dollies together, we need to measure this here, which it looks like just 10 3/8, but to make it fit inside, we're gonna go one tick under 10 3/8. I'm no professional when I go to measure. I'll be 100% honest with you guys. So what we're gonna do is measure this 10 3/8 and roughly just cut past the 10 1/4, and that should give us what we need. So then when we take this, we will put holes in it here. We'll reinforce it with the L coming down this way, and this will be our box going from the dollies to the cross member. So I don't really have a welding table right now set up at the shop. We do have a great table, bench over there, workbench, but I don't really have like a nice welding table or somewhere to cut. So I just have this extra piece of frame out of a 250 bed that was holding something, maybe like a diesel fuel tank. And we're gonna use that with just some spare bed rails we have to go ahead and cut this down. Okay, so I have it exactly where I need it. We're gonna go ahead and make a nice clean cut right here and on this side right here, because this piece of the frame is what we're going to be using. So I'm not going to be doing so much talking while I do this portion, just because I want to continue to work and I'm running out of time. But in order to get a nice clean cut, it's crucial to have a nice ground. So I'm going to grind a little spot so the ground hits nice. I think that's plenty. And go ground this right here. That's it. Now we need to take this, measure 10 1/4, and cut it just like that. Okay, so that's just a rough shot, and it's a little off at 10, and I'm gonna just confirm it really quick. I do have sometimes an issue measuring. I like to measure twice or have a template. Yeah, it's a little off. I think I need to do a better job on that. Oh, you know what? That's why. Okay, it's because I pulled from the edge. That's okay. Here we go. I got it. I think I will just make sure I cut right on the inseam of that. Okay, now we gotta do the same cut on the opposite side. Oh, if that ain't perfect. Now we can use our square and make sure that's in a good L. But that's about as square as you're gonna get on this. Let me go ahead and measure, make sure if I cut that far over, it doesn't obstruct. Yeah, we got plenty of extra. Yep, we got about a 1/2 inch extra. That's perfect. You know what, I have an easier way to do this. I'll use my bench grinder. All right, let's check that out. Yup, that's it. Nice. That is pretty much square and perfect. All right, that's what we're going with. So that's the first one, and if I have to trim up top, guys, in order for it to fit here, we had 11 inches on the top where this L would have fit. Oh, and it's gonna go this way, guys. Boom. Okay, we have some room here. 11 inches was the total. I know I'm not at 11 because that's where it's flat, where the cross member met. Get the 2 holes in here so this will go and sit right in, and then we can bolt it to it. This is perfect. This is absolutely perfect. So now I'm gonna go ahead and match this up with the other side and go ahead and cut that up. Essentially what I need to do is just cut it exactly where this one's cut. Again, just on one side really is what it matters. All right, so pretty much it's almost perfectly on top. So that's how much extra we have. Okay, yeah, you could see this was the extra. This one fits perfectly. We could just snip this down really clean, and then if I need to adjust it later, I will. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this right here, and then we'll have both of our half frames. I'm gonna go ahead and mark it, and then get the cutting. Sorry guys if you can't see that. I already got a spot grounded for it. Nice. Nice. Let's go test it out. And now just because it's going on this side, we're gonna take it to the proper side. Go ahead and tuck her in there, see if it fits. Oh, okay, let's see what we got. Oh yeah, it's just a hair big. I'm gonna clean up both sides of it, and I am certain it's gonna fit after I clean it up. Let's go check it out. All right, here we go. Oh, it goes this way. And that is perfect. Okay, things are going really swell. We actually have both of the brackets cut for each side that we're gonna be mounting to the unibody where the cross member attached. What I'm gonna do really quickly though is move it around to make sure, and I'm gonna try and get you guys the best shot of this. I know it's not gonna be perfect, but I'm gonna move it around a little bit to make sure that it doesn't line up in the wrong place where the dolly hits it. So this, and yeah, the top is a little long. That's perfect. This is what I wanted to see. I want to show you guys really quick what I'm talking about. We're set in the L. Okay, this is gonna be nice and secure, but we're set there, and we're kind of lined up right here also where the studs are so I can bolt through. We're gonna go ahead and mark this. Once I have down here lined up perfectly where I want it, we're gonna go ahead and mark this and blast 2 holes in here just like I did for these lower L brackets. And I'm gonna trim this down. This needs to just be about a couple inches short. And then we're gonna put another L in here, okay? Just from here down, just like this one. We're gonna close the box really, so we know that's nice and strong. And once we do that, we've got a really solid piece of frame holding that up, okay? And guys, still, at this point, we have no clue if this is actually gonna hold. I think it should be no issues, but I can't guarantee or promise anything. We're just guessing, because I've seen it in the past done. Hopefully these lower L's are strong enough and the dollies are strong enough. You'd think the dollies are strong enough because you actually roll the car. I've rolled the car on these dollies, but with the wheels. Essentially all I'm doing is building like a framed suspension so that we could just set it up on those dollies. But we're gonna do the exact same thing for this side. I'm gonna grab that other bracket, set it in here to see where we're gonna, because I do have some room here like this. You could see these wheels are a little bit off. Hold on, I'm gonna pull this out so it doesn't fall. We got about this much room here, okay? About right here is where we'd be. That's about where that L bracket's gonna sit. And you know, once we have it tacked here, I'm gonna run another one through the middle, and then we're gonna set a beam here all the way to the back of the car. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the other beam and then set it in here and see what we were working with. Then we're gonna be setting this one in here, and this one actually fits a lot better. You don't want to see something crazy. This one hole might be perfect. I think that this one hole could work. But for the most part, this is what we're looking at. And I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here and then show you guys exactly what this looks like from the outside. Okay, so you can see we have this side of the box here, we got this side of the box there, and those are both gonna be completely framed. And then we really just are gonna weld this all together. And once I lower the car, after the bolts are in the holes, we're gonna go ahead and lift this, thread it in, snug it down. We'll know, we're gonna set the lift down slowly, and if it picks up the front end of the car and doesn't buckle, you know it's gonna be secured to move it around. I think it's gonna be perfect. So yeah, here you can see that's kind of what it would look like as a box like this. It's funny how that depth works. Boom, 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 boom. And then this is all one. And essentially the whole car should just roll after this. It might look hilarious, but I think we'll be able to roll it on and off the lift with no issue. It will be close. I probably could have put these long ways, but this is actually how it would be if the tire was sitting in the dolly. So I'm pretty sure this is gonna be fine. And we're gonna do the exact same thing with the back. This has taken me about an hour to make so far. Now we still have to weld it and put it all together. But so far this is great. I'm thinking we're gonna have ourselves a little rolling frame and get this car off the lift. It might not actually be in this video where we get the car off the lift. We will have this front frame built, at least I believe, in this video, and if not, it just leaves you guys intrigued into coming back to the channel and seeing next week's Subaru Saturday, because we're actually going to be getting the front, the back completed, and then this thing rolled off the car so we can continue to work on it. And like I said, I really need my lift for other jobs, not just this Subaru. It'll just be more versatile, I think, if we're able to get the car off. Things are going well. I'm not a professional fabricator, but I think we're gonna be able to build this frame and roll this car out of here. So thank you guys for watching. Let's just continue on working and see what we can get done today. I'm gonna attempt to line it up with this hole here, and we'll do it on the subframe. I'll show you guys exactly what I mean, or on the cross member, I should say. I could just mark this with a marker, because if I line this hole up here, okay, if I line this hole with these two, and I just go ahead and put a hole in here, or mark it with my permanent marker, I'll know exactly where to drill the hole, it seems like. Perfect. Okay. This way I can kind of just maneuver it the way I need to. And now I'm going underneath, and I'm gonna mark this hole here with my permanent marker. And if this comes out properly, I should have exactly where I need to cut the hole. Let's find out. Boom, look at that. That's where we're gonna be cutting the hole, pretty much dead center. Let's just cut it and see what happens. Now that should be perfect. Let's go ahead and put it on the car and see what we got. Okay, we are so close. I think I just need to make this a hair bigger. Let's go cut this a little more, and then I'll bring it right back. I'm not gonna take the camera to make it bigger, but we're just gonna go and do it real quick. I had a little drill bit that I could have used. All right, there we go. Yeah, see that? It's perfect. Boom, baby. But you can see the bracket fits perfectly. Now what I was saying is it is on a little bit of an angle. I wonder if that's because the way the car is tilted. If I bring the car down, will it come flat? So really quick, what I want to attempt to do is set this dolly back in place and see if I can get it lined up. That's perfect. That is absolutely perfect. I'm thinking once we set the car down, it comes down level. But I wanted to get this into place so I can get this bracket measurement. Also, I'm able to cut this one the way we need to cut it because I needed to have it the proper direction also. Make sure it fits here, perfect. Yeah, so what I mean is we're gonna cut this one to size now. But we're gonna have to make 2 holes for this one, because I know I can't use one of the pre-cut holes on this side. Let me see if I can turn you around here and show you what I'm talking about. I don't have a hole here that lines up with where this sits. So we're just gonna have to do our best here. It's a little tricky to do this now. All right, now that we have my light here, I can show you guys just a little bit better what I'm talking about. Just because the way the frame was already, there wasn't a hole that fits in place. So what I'm gonna do here is kind of just crudely mark it like we did the very first ones. We gotta center it in. That should be good. And then on this one also, just kind of, you could just kind of see. And with that, we should be able to go ahead, go to the cross member, and draw our holes like we did for the first one. Then I just gotta cut out the 2 holes. Oh, and we also have to cut this about here. Yeah, we also got to cut this like right here so it passes this thing like the other side does. And that side we have plenty of space. We'll just clean this up over here, make that nice and clean. We'll go ahead and mark this across. This way, when we cut this, it fits in here. We put our 2 holes in it, and it looks pretty square down there. No matter what, we'll weld it into place so it's not gonna move. That should be it, because then all we have to do is add the piece of L to reinforce this, which is not bad. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and knock this thing down, and we'll go ahead and start cutting. Take our marker, find the hole, color it in nice and thoroughly. Same thing for this side. All right, and then we can see what we got here and see how these holes look. Okay, let's look at them together. If you ask me, they're pretty close to where the circle was, and I'm thinking that's gonna be fine. Let's go ahead and cut these holes, see if this thing fits. And while we're cutting the holes, I'll go ahead and chop this piece off too. All right, that first one came out pretty good. Those look pretty good. I guess it's time to cut this piece off here. You guys can see the holes are pretty clean. I'm gonna clean up these edges and see if this thing fits in there. I'll show you guys how I made the hole nice and pretty last time. Alrighty, so we got this piece fabbed up. We got the holes in there, and I think that I actually put one of the holes just a hair off. We're gonna attempt to put it on, see what happens. Maybe I got it right, but I could tell I'm just a hair off center. But we're gonna throw it on there, see what it looks like, and hopefully it works. Okay. Kinda have to slide this around. Oh, check that out. Perfect. That is sick. All right, so really all we need to do now, because we have everything the way it's gonna be set, we're gonna go put a L down on both sides. An L, great. Everything fits perfectly so far, and I'm pretty excited about that. Now I guess I really just need to measure from here down to make sure that's right. Okay, so you can see my weld. This one's a little bit bigger. And you can see their weld, which I'm guessing somebody that knows what they're doing was welding this side. But you can see these were my last two welds I did, and it got better. This is the first time I've actually really welded anything that's a solid structure. You can see I kind of did a little dot method, and I'll show you guys the whole thing. Some places I did better, like right there I did okay in that crease. Bubbling it up to the top was a little difficult. See, mine in some places is even over welded compared to theirs. You can see theirs on this side. Let me grab my flashlight. So you can see theirs on this side, okay? And then you can see mine on this side. And it's not perfect by any means. I think it should have no problem holding. I'll show you guys this side. I think I did this side, the one crease at least, pretty clean. And you can see theirs, which was done previously, and then there's mine. I'm working on it, guys. This is something new that I'm doing, and really just for the Subaru, I'm trying to learn how to do it. That was my first try. This one came out a little bit uglier. I can show you guys what I'm talking about. This was the very first one I did. And yeah, there's a lot of popcorning and blotchies. Doesn't look perfect. Yeah, this was like the first time I ever welded. You can see it got so much better on the other one. But on the back side of this one, I think I did okay. You can can see. Let me show you guys. Here's theirs on this side right here, and there's mine. So I'll get you a full frame of that. Really, this side doesn't look so bad. This side was an easier spot to get to, I say. There's their weld, actually. That one's ugly if you ask me. And then there's my weld. Still ugly, but I think it should do the job. Hopefully that holds. So we're gonna hook that all up and find out. So what I'm about to do is put the frames that, or the boxes, whatever you want to call them, that I just built, put them back in their place on the dolly rack and make sure everything fits accordingly. Hopefully I did it all right. It's pretty basic, just, you know, I had to weld in the 2 bars to reinforce it, and then we're gonna set it up, and then I'm gonna make some reinforcements on the dolly piece also, so it's really nice and supported, and then we could pretty much just jack it up and see if it's gonna hold, and that's what we're gonna find out in today's video. All right, what we need to do is make sure these line up like this. Okay, that looks like it's good. Even though it's a little crooked, we're gonna have to level out the car here in a little bit before we go to actually attach it. I will try and get the other side in really quick too. Okay, so yeah, both sides are in and it looks good. So I'm getting ready to install the frames, and I really want to clean this rust up here on the threads. I have a little wire brush on my air tool, and we're just going to clean this up a little bit, and I have to knock down the frame so I can weld it all together. But first thing we're going to do, because we're going to bolt these up, is just clean this section up. I have this little, I think it's an aftermarket one, but we're going to clean it up real quick and then go ahead and put that box frame up there, bolt it down, and then we're going to see if this thing will hold. Okay, now that we have our nuts cleaned up, our threads are cleaned up, we're gonna go ahead and attempt to put our frame up, then sit the car on it and see what happens. And see how I can hand loosen and tighten these. That's the reason why I do that. It makes it so much easier to work with. Okay. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and get this into place. Look at that, so much better. Oh no. That's not good. Didn't account for that. Bumping, the nut is bumping the piece of metal. I either have to make the hole bigger, which is probably what I'm gonna do. I just need a little bit of extra space. All right, I gotta bring this down. Go ahead and try the other side while we're down here. See if we need to do it on that side also. Yeah, I'm guessing we're gonna have to do it. I wish I would have paid better attention. See, as you do stuff, you learn. This side actually seems to fit, although the welds are gonna be in the way. I really should have paid attention to this. Yep, that's not gonna work. All right, so I need to move the holes in this top bracket to make it work. So we're just gonna go ahead and do that really quick, and hopefully it'll work out for me. So I made the holes a little deeper, and now we can put our frame in. We have clearance. So I'm gonna go ahead and snug these up and go to the other side and do the same. Pretty strong. We're gonna go ahead and I guess we're gonna try and jack up the car to see what happens when we lift it onto these dollies, which there's a few steps I have to take in order to do that. So let's get on it. You're almost there. That's it. It's on. this the one that's gonna... But no range. Alright, that's fine. It can roll. Ooh, some stuff on it. Go ahead. No, yeah, it's just going up. Go up a little bit higher, just a little bit. All right, that's fine. Nah, I was just gonna pick him up and say, look at this perfectly preserved roach. It's crazy. This almost looks fake, doesn't it? Let's get this thing level. And it just hit on one side. All right. Okay, everybody, that's it for today's video. I just wanted to say thank you so much for being patient on getting back to Subaru Saturdays. I know it's been over 3 weeks since I made a video about my 2.5 RS, but we're back on track. Things are going great. We got the front rolling frame built, and in next week's Subaru Saturday, we're gonna be getting the rear frame built, attached to the front frame, and then we're gonna be attempting to roll this car off of the lift. If you guys wanna see if we can actually get it off the lift and these frames work, make sure to stay tuned. If you're not subscribed, definitely subscribe to the channel. Give this video a thumbs up so it can reach a wider audience. We're really trying to blow up Subaru Saturdays. And leave me a comment in the section below if you think the car will come off the lift next week in Subaru Saturday. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Your support means everything to me, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll catch you guys next week for another Subaru Saturday. Peace out.